Katy Perry gets Me Too'd and Me Three'd. The Onion's stealing InfoWars. The Mormon Sneaky Soda goes national. Plus early access, talk to me on Discord, and keep the channel alive at patreon.com/doseofbuckley. Some people have a lot of trouble moving on from their childhood, from their high school days, often for different reasons. You have the people who peaked in high school. That was when they were their most popular, most athletic. Life was just completely downhill for them after that. Then you have the dorks who are often bullied by those very people, who can't let go of that trauma, and who now get mad when those ex-jocks, who used to call them losers and make fun of them for their gay hobbies, now enjoy aspects of those very hobbies now that they become mainstream. Comics, trading card games, anime, Dungeons and Dragons. Instead of being happy, maybe even a little smug, that their ex-tormentors are now standing in line to buy Pokemon cards and getting wet over Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans returning for the next Avengers movie, they resent them for it. To this I say, grow the fuck up already. You're not 14 years old in that fucking hallway anymore, getting stuffed in your locker for wearing a Naruto headband and running with your arms stretched back. You're a grown man. Let that trauma go. Revel in the fact that you were right all this time, that these things are awesome, and their lives were the ones that were miserable. They spent so much time trying to cultivate an image, so much time caring about what people thought about them, that they missed out on so much fun shit. There's no need to hate these people. Now, when it comes to Logan Paul, fuck that guy in each eye socket until he's crying jizz. Many people have said that Logan Paul is a scammer. So many people that he wants to sue people for saying Logan Paul is a scammer. Now, me? I would never say Logan Paul is a scammer. I would, however, remind you that the company he started, CryptoZoo, scammed a bunch of people. A court case against Logan specifically was dismissed. So you can't say Logan Paul is a scammer. But after a number of people purchased NFTs based on his endorsement and didn't receive anything for it, not a scam, he turned to real physical collectibles, stuff that the nerd community tends to enjoy, namely Pokemon cards and manga. You have no idea how furious a bunch of nerds are right now at how I pronounce those. But anyway, the Pokemon stuff was a while back and fairly well documented, but for those of you with jobs and or families and friends, Logan started a company called Liquid Marketplace in which you could buy a fraction of a collectible. Can't afford, say, a rare Pokemon card valued at $1.1 million? Well, that's okay. You could own 1% of it for $11,000, and then when it gets sold for, say, let's just throw a number out there, $16.5 million, you would get $176,000 of that sale. Oh wait, that's not a hypothetical. Logan Paul did exactly that, except he claims he repurchased the card with a substantial buyback before selling it for $16.5 million. Except the buyback was based on the card's original value of $1.1 million, when he later proved the card was actually worth $16.5 million. In the world of collectibles, an item is worth whatever someone is willing to pay. So again, you aren't allowed to say that Logan Paul is a scammer. After that, he started another company. Every company he's ever started involving collectibles has basically been a rug pull. The company, not Logan, of course. So why would anyone expect his latest venture, Rip It, to be any different? Now, he didn't invent this concept, but what Rip It is a breaker. Again, for those of you with loved ones and responsibilities, what these are, you watch a live stream and during which you give them real money to purchase packs of real trading cards, whatever they might be. Sports, Pokemon, Magic, Desert Storm War cards from the 90s. And then they open the cards on camera on your behalf, and whatever is opened, you get. Theoretically. Except, many of them, whenever they pull an actual rare, expensive card, just don't send it to the buyer. There's a video on YouTube of numerous alleged moments of this happening. Has it happened with Rip It? Not yet, but I almost guarantee there'll be accusations. If it ever works. While writing this video, I tried to go to the website. gives a 403 forbidden error. Their Instagram claims that the future of collecting starts now. Guess the future's on hold while they sort that out. Now, you might be saying, Buckley, why would anyone do this? Just go buy the cards and open them yourself. Well, this is the other accusation that's been lobbed at old Logie, which is that his involvement in the card collecting world has made that impossible. As much as I think he's a scumbag, you can't entirely blame Logan Paul for this. First off, that would be giving him way too much credit, suggesting he's way more powerful than he actually is. But no, the hobby was ruined before he got involved. In fact, that's why he got involved. When COVID hit, people who didn't lose their jobs but had nowhere to go and nothing to spend their money on all turned to collectibles. 45 of the 46 cards that have been sold for $1 million or more, all of those sales happened after COVID. They keep telling you the economy's bad? Not for someone it ain't. But things like that kid finding the Paul Skeens card and selling it for $1 million has led to people buying up boxes of cards looking for their golden ticket like Charlie Fuckit, bringing out the scalpers who buy up all those boxes and making cards harder to get. I showed you the videos last year of Pokemon scalpers literally fighting each other for cards. To say that this is entirely Logan's fault? I mean, that's really funny, but that only gives him a bigger ego than he already had. But now he's thought, well, what else do nerds like that I could get rich off of? And this brings us to manga, Japanese comics. Logan posted that he's the proud owner of the greatest mangas in the world, IMO, showing off his copies of Weekly Shonen Jump that contain the first chapters of One Piece and Dragon Ball. Now, if you think, since when did Logan Paul give a fuck about manga and anime? I assume he was some sort of a weeb at some point, otherwise I'm not sure what he was doing in Japan, besides looking for hanging corpses to film and laugh at. But no, clearly someone, an investor speculator by the name of Jeremy Padawar, by the way, told him, yeah, you know how comic book first appearances go for a shitload of money? Well, no one's doing that with manga. You could buy them now and pump up the price by making it seem really important. Kind of smart from a scamming standpoint, I mean a legitimate investor standpoint, but he doesn't actually care about any of these things beyond the dollar amount. He got ratioed by his pal iShow Speed in a clearly coordinated little bit of promo. You don't even know shit about One Piece. Yeah, you tell him, Speed. But a couple of days before that, they proved they both don't know shit about One Piece or any anime or manga for that matter.
As a One Piece fan, this is great. I didn't know you started in a magazine.
Me either, bro. Isn't that insane?
It saved my life.
What do you mean by that?
I was depressed before, watching it.
No
but then when I started watching it, motivation.
How could you just not know? Just no curiosity for the thing you consume. Funny pirate cartoons saved my life. No interest in even reading the first fucking paragraph of its Wikipedia entry to learn a little bit more about its origins? Yes, manga is released weekly in the absolute lowest quality magazines you've ever seen in your life. They're like 300 or 400 pages. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this whole thing costs about $3 American. The pages are different colors for really no reason. The Japanese clearly made these out of really shitty recycled paper and sell them cheap so that you'll also recycle it. And because they don't have the room to keep these fucking phone book size monstrosities in their homes, the ones that do survive become rare. Rare enough to convince Logan Paul to spend $550,000 on something you wouldn't wipe your ass with, and he'll someday convince some other moron to spend $5 million on. But where manga differs from cards, they reprint this shit so heavily, he literally can't fuck the market up for people who actually want to collect and read them. As he pulled off Wikipedia for his own write-up, One Piece has sold over 600 million books. Tankobons, I believe they're called. You want the first volume of One Piece? It's $9 on Amazon right now. $4 for a used one. Logan Paul's officially ruined Shonen Jump because why in the fuck is a Bleach manga volume $70,000? Picture of someone's eBay listing. It's not, by the way. It's $8 new, $2.50 used. Now listen, I'm a comic collector, so I understand first printings versus reprints. But I'm not angry that a copy of Amazing Fantasy 15 sold for $3.6 million. As a grown adult who likes the Spidey Man, I have read that comic several times. It's $19 for it and the first 10 issues of Amazing Spider-Man on Amazon right now. The money-laundering fuck who paid $3.6 million for a copy can't hurt my enjoyment of the jumping man in spandex who shoots, let's call these webs, onto a robot with J. Jonah Jameson's face on it. The reason cards are fucked is because every new set brings with it the chance that, oh, this could be the one that makes me rich. If they just reprinted those cards until the end of time like they do with comics, with manga, that wouldn't happen. But if they did that, people wouldn't spend $200 or more on a box of 2x3-inch pictures of fake animals. No, I don't want it to seem like I'm defending the prick, but if you're an actual fan of manga and anime, like you enjoy reading and watching it and not just having it take up space in your home, Logan Paul can't ruin your hobby. Now, if your hobby was buying mass-produced items encased in plastic that you want to hoard in the hopes that someday it'll pay for a college fund for the kids you'll never have because no one will fuck you because your whole life revolves around a Japanese pirate cartoon, then yes, he ruined that hobby for you. But remember, no matter how hard or impossible it is, never lose sight of your goal. I believe that was said by Fluffy E. Monkey.
Luffy D. Monkey. Shout out Luffy.
Monkey D. Luffy.
What?
I could just feel your weeb rage.